Early in January of 2023, Augusta National announced that reigning NCAA individual champion Gordon Sargent of Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, received and accepted a special invitation to play in this year's Masters. But who is the kid, and why did he receive an invite? In this video, we'll be telling you all about Gordon Sargent, his role in this year's Masters, and what the future may hold in the professional ranks for the young prospect. But before we get into the video, please don't forget to hit the like button and click subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any future golf content. Without further ado, let's get started. Hailing from Birmingham, Alabama, 19-year-old sophomore student Gordon Sargent has quickly made the front pages after it was announced he had secured and accepted an invite to the famous Augusta National Golf Club to take part in the 87th edition of the Masters Tournament. For casual golf fans, the name Gordon Sargent may not mean anything, but to the avid golf followers out there, Sargent is someone they probably would have heard about around the circuit, around the amateur scene, and especially since he's been attending Vanderbilt, Sargent has racked up some impressive achievements. During his time as a freshman in 2021 to 2022, Gordon excelled within his field. Here's a list of some of his most notable achievements as a freshman. Gordon Sargent received the Phil Mickelson Outstanding Freshman Award of 2022, was voted SEC Freshman of the Year, was the 2022 Individual National Champion, and totaled a 280 through 4 rounds of stroke play at the NCAA Championships before winning a 4-way playoff to win the individual national title. The following year as a sophomore, Gordon would also continue to rack up his accolades and start to create a name for himself. Here are some of the things Gordon has achieved recently. He competed for Team USA at the Palmer Cup. He won the individual stroke play championship at the East Lake Cup with a 4-under par 68, was named to 2022 Haskins Award preseason watch list, and now he's just been invited to compete at the 2023 Masters. Masters chairman Fred Ridley came out to give a comment on the tournament's recent announcement regarding the special invitations for this year's Masters tournament. This is what Fred Ridley had to say. The Masters tournament prioritizes opportunities to elevate both amateur and professional golf around the world. Thus, we've extended invitations to 2 deserving players not otherwise qualified. Whether on the international stage or at the elite amateur level, each player has showcased their talent in the past year. We look forward to hosting them at Augusta National in April. As mentioned by Fred, the Masters is a great opportunity for the younger, lesser-known players to really make a name for themselves on the biggest stage possible. When talking about the invitations, the pool of players that could be open and able to receive an invitation to the Masters is endless, especially players throughout the US, so the bar has to be pretty high. You must have gone above and beyond in your golfing endeavors and have outperformed your peers in order to be one of the 2 players invited to the tournament. Gordon Sargent is a player who's done all of that and more. If you're familiar with the amateur scene, you would know that Sargent is showing himself to be one of the best, if not the best, young golfing talents in the United States. In just 3 semesters, Sargent has established himself as one of the game's up-and-coming stars, rising all the way up to number 3 in the World Amateur Golf Ranking. He was the first freshman to win the NCAA's top prize since 2007. It's a significant milestone for college golf, with Gordon being recognized on a broader scale. Sargent is the first amateur to accept a special invitation to the Masters since Aaron Baddeley in 2000. Gordon's Vanderbilt coach, Scott Limbaugh, made comment on the recent announcement about one of his students getting an invitation to the Masters. He had this to say: "There is simply not a greater honor in golf than to be invited to play in the Masters tournament. We are thrilled for Gordon and especially proud of the way he represents our university and golf program with high character and integrity in everything he does. This is certainly another great opportunity for him to showcase his talents on the grandest of stages." It's clear to see how proud Scott is of Gordon and how proud he is of him as not only a golfer but as a person. Scott mentions Gordon's integrity and his talent for the game, something which we'll get to see come this April. It's also clear to see how much this means personally to Gordon's coach, his team, his university, and even to college amateur golfing as a whole. Gordon Sargent himself also came out to the media not long after the announcement and discussed getting the phone call, college golf, and his prospects in the tournament itself. Here is some of what he had to say to the media. "I was caught a little off guard by it when asked about the phone call. At first, I thought it may have been a prank call," his coach said. "I'm not even positive I believed him after he called me, just because it's just so not like something they would do. We weren't telling anyone because you want to make sure that it's a deal." Once the Masters broke the news to the public, Sargent said he had over 250 text messages, forcing himself to put his phone on Do Not Disturb. Back on campus in Nashville, Tennessee, Tennessee. Gordon revealed that his official invitation to the Masters did arrive in his parents' mailbox on Monday. Given that Gordon Sargent is the first amateur to receive an invitation to the Masters since Aaron Baddeley in 2000, what does this mean for the amateur circuit? Will this become a commonality going forward for Masters special invitations? Or will it just be something that happens once in a blue moon? When asked during Media Day, the Augusta National spokesperson would not elaborate on the tournament's future plans, only to say that Sargent was simply a special invitation for this year's Masters. It's unknown if Sargent's inclusion in this year's field will signal a regular annual invite to the NCAA individual champion. Whether this will become a regular thing or not, we don't know. But one thing we can be sure of is that a lot of eyes from the amateur golf scene will be on this year's Masters tournament, and in particular on Gordon Sargent. It's a big moment for the community, Sargent's coach said. I do think this could be a monumental day for college golf. We don't know how they're looking at it, but for him to get this special exemption, it's incredible, and I'm so happy for him. Even though Gordon has proved himself to be one of the best in the world on the amateur scene, this tournament will really give an idea of where he is in comparison to established golf players that spend all year on the tour and competing in majors. The unofficial field list for the Masters includes players who have won majors before and players who have won majors recently. Gordon will be competing against past legends of the game, as well as today's standout players. If you were to look at the odds, of course, Gordon would not be close to the likes of Rory McIlroy, Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas, or Scottie Scheffler. However, the odds aren't everything, and it's very plausible that Gordon will emerge from this tournament with his head held high, even though he's not expected to go all the way and lift the trophy. The pressure will still be on for Gordon Sargent. His name has been floating around for quite some time now, and given the reaction to this announcement, people are excited to watch him, to see what all the hype's about. You'd expect him to place well in the tournament and to show his potential, but in terms of competing with the best professional golfers in the world, he may struggle keeping up with the scoring. When looking forward to the future of Gordon Sargent, it seems as though he's destined for stardom. It'll just be a case of who snatches him up first. According to Sargent, he plans on staying at least 3 years at Vanderbilt, if not longer, even if he satisfies the newly announced PGA Tour University Accelerated program. Sargent currently stands at 10 points, halfway to the 20 he needs to earn a tour card. He has a chance to earn 4 points at the Masters, 1 for playing, 1 for making the cut, and 2 additional for a top 20 finish. Reaching number 1 in the world would come with 2 more points, and winning the Haskins, Nicklaus, and Hogan awards are good for 3 points each. If he succeeds in getting to 20 points this spring, Sargent says he can defer that tour card rather than having to take advantage of it right away this summer. It seems as though Sargent is focused on crafting his game and taking his time before rushing into professional golf. He said, "I can't even imagine traveling the world by myself playing professional golf at age 20. I'd rather just stay in college another couple of years and get better. And if you have a PGA Tour card waiting for you, it gives you a lot of freedom." Apart from the PGA route, LIV Golf is already showing interest in the young talent by signing former Oklahoma State standout Eugenio Chacarra. And it wouldn't be crazy to think that LIV would be interested in a guy like Sargent, who enters the spring ranked number 1 in golf stats, despite rumors of a $50 million offer from LIV Golf to Gordon Sargent. The Vanderbilt sophomore says he's had no contact with LIV, and he definitely has not received any kind of offer to join the startup league, whatever his route in the future. It seems fairly certain that Gordon Sargent is a name that we'll be hearing about for years to come. He's one of the biggest talents on the amateur scene at the moment, and he'll be teeing it up in this year's Masters tournament. But what do you think? How will Sargent perform in this year's Masters, and how far can he go in the professional ranks? Let us know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and click subscribe so you don't miss out on any future golf content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the green.